Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. So from the last video, you remember that we had that big storm and it it almost flooded the house. It didn't. It had quite a while to go before it flooded the house, but I was still scared since the house flooded before. But the one thing that it did mess up was the pilot. Not mess up, but let me show you. So just as a disclaimer, when after I moved this to up there, and when the water, I'll show you in the video, but the water did get up to probably towards the top of the wheel. I don't know, we'll look at it in the video, but the water got up pretty high. I didn't think it was past the body level to get into the car, but it must have been, because it smells super moldy in here. Like bad, like not quite as bad as the WRX did after it flooded, but it definitely, you can tell we had some mold flood incidents. The only thing I can think of where the majority of the water would come in is clearly I had to walk through, I had to wade through water. Then I stepped in here. And so a bunch of water came in from that. But even before that, if you'll see in the video, the front windshield was all fogged up. So I think water had already gotten into the car. But anyway, I got these little, I actually already had these little damp red things, and I put these in here and I just left it out in the heat. I did drive the car, I run it runs fine. It just smells like slightly moldy in here. Not bad, but enough to be gross. So I'm hoping I can salvage it. I got a damp red here. And I got a damp red here. Doesn't look like we've really gotten any moisture yet, but the thing is all like, I don't know if anybody's ever used this, the top gets all like mushy and stuff when it starts getting water. So the other thing was, this was completely full of water, so I figured out where the water accumulates on the gate. I had to pry it over here, but it actually fills up inside the gate itself. And for those of you who remember, I did take it to Honda while it was under warranty, and they couldn't reproduce the problem of the water getting into the gate. So it must be when it's like just super heavy rain, like it was, water can get into the gate somehow. I don't really understand how. It doesn't seem to mess anything up, but the gate itself was completely full of water, like last time. It had to I had to drain it, so I pulled this out a little bit and just let it completely drain until there was no more water. But you could even hear it like sloshing around when I was doing that before. I'm in here right now. It doesn't smell super moldy, not as bad as it did, but given that I have my kids and everything in here, I don't want there to be any mold. So the best thing I can think of right now, it's been sitting here all day with the damp rids, is I'm going to put it in the garage, because you guys know I have a dehumidifier in my garage, and I'm just going to leave all the doors open, put a bunch of fans out, and hopefully it'll kind of just get any remaining moisture inside the car out, and the mold or whatever can go away and die, and hopefully we'll be all good. But this is kind of sad, and this is why I need a bigger vehicle, because this car was just parked right here in the on the street where I park it, and I had to run out here and try to save it, and obviously a little bit of water got in. So this car just isn't enough to do what I need. So obviously if the house flooded, or if there was an emergency or whatever would happen, I don't really, when the street's that flooded, I don't really have a vehicle that can easily cross that. Now the Pilot probably would make it, as long as it didn't get past the engine level, it would probably make it, probably be okay, but that's a big probably, and that's not really something that I want to take my family, I don't want to put that probably in my family's life. I want to make sure no matter what, I can get out of the house if I had to. I could go get them somewhere if I had to. And the Pilot just isn't up for the task. I mean, you can get a little lift on it, like a 1.5 inch or a 2 inch lift, but that's still not going to be enough. So I think I need a truck or something. I've been looking at a few different options. One of the things I was looking at was the Nissan Armada, because you can get a lift on that. You can get a 6 inch lift on that, and it's all-wheel drive and all that cool stuff. So that would be a good option, and it can tow, because that's another thing. I would like to be able to tow my car if I needed to. So I'm kind of looking at that. I don't know. I don't really want to buy a new car, but I mean, honestly, the whole flood thing was kind of terrifying. And even if I moved to a different place that didn't have any street flooding, you still have the problem of when there is flooding, you're kind of stuck wherever you are unless you have a vehicle that's capable of driving through some deep-ish water. I'm not saying that I'm going to try to cross the, you know, huge water, but if you have a vehicle that goes through 3 or 4 feet of water, you can get through the majority of any flooded street. And obviously if it's too flooded, just don't go down it. But when I'm trapped in my house and I can't even get out because the water on the street is probably, you know, 2 feet deep or 1.5 feet or whatever it was, that's why I'm going to look at getting a truck, or like some sort of SUV, something that I can get a lot higher that can go through this Houston water. And you know, I'm kind of a prepper and I don't feel prepared, so let's get this going. So just to note, this guy was in the garage, completely nestled in there. No water got on it, no moisture. Even had the dehumidifier going. So just to show you, I mean, there's a reason I keep this car in the garage. I love this car, and I don't want anything to happen to it. So, so anyone who doesn't think I like the car just because I do some weird things, like take it through a car wash, it's not the case. I'm just lazy. So let's get this going. So, as you can see, I got my dehumidifier here. I'm going to turn this down all the way just to get the humidity in here as low as possible. And of course I got to close the garage. And no worries about any of the interior lights being left on because I have an awesome lithium battery in here. And even if it did die, it would be perfectly fine if I just jumped the car and it would just charge back up. I love this lithium battery. With all the problems I've had with batteries, like this is the one battery I can actually trust that it's going to work. Alright, so we got our fan running, dehumidifier running, all the doors open. Let's hope that, and this fan, I know it's not blowing inside the car, it's just to circulate the air around the garage so the dehumidifier can do what it needs to do. Because it can't do it, obviously, if the air around it is stagnant. So, we're going to leave this like this. And just one cool point I think I wanted to show you guys, for anyone who hasn't seen it, because I thought this was genius. I always had the problem with where to drain my my dehumidifier in the garage, and a while back I came up with this plan to drain it out of the garage and into the pond, so it just helps keeps the pond filled. I did that a while ago, but for anyone who hasn't seen this, I'm really proud of it because I feel like this is a genius idea. No one's ever come up with it. Anyway, that's going to be it for now. I'll let you guys know how the Pilot's doing. I just wanted to give that little update. Houston, rain, flooding. Kind of sucks, but it is what it is. It's where we live, and we'll deal with it. So I hope the Pilot's good. I definitely need a vehicle with a lift capable of going through deep-ish water. So that's something I'll be working on. Any suggestions, just leave them in the comments. Peace.
Push the gas, escalate the gauges, escalate hits on the cam girls.